What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Claru.
And this is Secret Invasion Episode 4. We're in the back half. We're in the back nine, as they say, in the golf world.
Is that what they say? Sure. Oh, okay. Yeah. I wouldn't fucking know that.
There's the 4-9? The front nine, I think, in the back. I've played golf.
The 49ers?
The 49ers.
Gotcha.
We're in the 49ers of the back nine of the other references to things that we definitely participate in.
Know about, yes.
My name's Nerdy. If you like these reactions, go over to patreon.com/nerdynightly for the full-length one. You can watch us watch it, and, like, you know, it'll be like you have friends, which you probably don't.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
It would have been fine if you know, it stopped right before the little bit at the end there, but it's
Oh, come on, it was funny.
It was funny. I laughed. They laughed. We laughed.
No, someone got really sad. Someone was like, yeah.
It's fine.
Come on, let's do this. Let's watch this show.
She was just kind of there.
Yeah. Oh, maybe she's alive. She super Skrulled herself!
She used that machine by herself?
No, she took the information from the doctor lady, and she super Skrulled herself.
That's what I mean. She just, like, started the machine by herself. Does she know how it works?
Yeah, because she took the information out of the lady brain, the scientist's brain. That she didn't need to know how to start it because she stole that info. That's good use of those powers. That's fun. Paris. Paris is getting shit on the TikTok right now. Oof. It's not cute.
2012 feels so recent to me.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not at all.
I did.
And what did you want?
To call myself beloved. To feel myself beloved on the earth.
They needed to cut that scene right there. Those two left, did some things you can't show on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
This is a snapshot of my childhood. Robes, music book.
Never did the robes. But...
Oh my god, I've worn so many choir robes in my life. They're so hot.
If it was Gravik, then why does he need me?
What Gravik needs, what Gravik doesn't need, that's none of your concern. I'm the one telling you to kill Fury. Look, I'll make it easy for you. One of the two occupants.
He'll be dead from exhaustion and defeat soon enough. We don't need to kill him.
Priscilla.
I'm worried about where real Rhodey is.
She's the mole. I've already taken care of her. Yes, sir. Hey, remember, we want him to think it's the Russians.
No one thought to
Make
check
it
on the
big,
body you left in the
loud.
street.
Like the Russians.
Yeah, it
were.
is just weird that they leave bodies around the
Just
forest.
everywhere.
I know.
There's just a bunch of dead skulls in that forest.
Yeah. And like right
And like that
outside
one was at
the
the
main
gate, and no one woke up the next day and was like, ah, it's weird that
Gone. I know. Yeah.
there's a trail of blood leading that way.
Forced you into this, and I am so sorry.
And I don't need your sorrow or your pity for anything I did of my own free will.
I'm a super Skrull now.
It's the only answer to the question of where I belong. The only thing that I need from you is a plan.
This turn feels like it happened too fast.
I know.
Once and for all that.
Because I don't understand when it happened or why.
What is your plan for...
It almost feels like the
First,
show is supposed to be like 10
We take
episodes.
down the insurgency.
And they like
You,
trim
me, Fury.
They just trim
Once
stuff
that's
down.
done, we just keep contributing. Show them our hearts. They will see us.
I was like, ah, fuck, that's not what I wanted to hear.
You're delusional. That's not who we are. And that is not who I've become.
So then why did she...
Yeah, her flip-floppiness. I agree with her. Like, that was his plan isn't great, but like she's all over the place.
Yeah.
I feel like the show just still hasn't answered that like question at the beginning of what the fuck was Captain Marvel doing the whole time for the Skrulls?
Yeah.
And so all of this is just like very nebulously about this conflict that I don't really understand the stakes of.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're coming or going?
Going. One of those Fury, we need you at work things. You know what I mean?
I know how it is.
Told her yesterday that he retired. Like, the show is just very, like, I don't really know, but the writing feels a little inconsistent.
Convenient.
Yeah, and there's fun stuff in it because the acting is really solid, but like narratively, I don't feel like it's very strong.
No.
Even now, as I sit here knowing you plan to kill me with that pistol of yours, I don't know that if I had a chance to do it over again, that I'd do anything different.
Their relationship's so fucked.
Yeah.
That I would bury her at sea, which I did. That I would continue to be a daughter to her parents.
And you've also done.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is ethical Skrull shifting.
To feel
Myself, beloved, on the earth.
I'm not sure if this means we should get divorced or we should renew our vows.
Would you have loved me if I'd never changed? If I'd been my true self?
Guess we'll never know.
Oh!
I guess we'll never know.
That was very funny. Wow, that was an insane scene.
Yeah, that was unhinged.
Gross. I'm just an incredibly attractive man.
Memory serves, I shit-canned you into oblivion a few days ago.
I didn't like the way we left things between us the other day. You know, if you waste one drop of this family reserve, I guarantee you, your ancestors will reach out from the beyond and strangle your black ass. I stopped by.
You broke in.
Broke in to tell you. There are Skrulls inside the U.S. government.
Wow. Really? How close?
As close as you and I are right now.
But what I can have is the rest of this pappy, because baby, this is fire. Now, tell you what, why don't you hobble your ancient ass on out of here before I have you defenestrated?
It's a good word. I mean, if you just shoot him, he'll become an alien. You'll have proof.
That's what I've been waiting for this whole time.
Liquid location tracker.
I was like, it is going to be nanobots. Yeah.
I'm just confused how they have, like, that technology, but they have no way of detecting Skrulls still. Like, no one has figured that out.
Yeah.
Because there would have to be some sort of genetic thing going on.
Yeah.
Some organ that they would have that normal people wouldn't have because the like, transformation comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Point taken, sir. There's a full briefing book for you inside Stagecoach.
I want Fury to shoot him right now in front of the president.
Pre-game for our bilateral with the Russians with the half a bottle of bourbon.
I'm not sure I understand the question, sir.
Let's make sure the Colonel here has a large coffee for the road.
It was Pappy 23, and he had one. Why is that man's arm in a sling? Wouldn't the Secret Service be like, no, you're not on detail today. You can't use your right arm. I get it, people get hurt, but like maybe don't protect the president when you have one hand.
Yeah.
Citadel is in position number 4.
Oh, they're going after the... Oh, shit, okay. Fury, maybe now we call the Avengers. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I understand we didn't want to get them involved, but the American president was just missiled. Somewhere there's a Secret Service agent who's like, if I only had both of my hands.
I know.
Hey, War Machine, you wanna, I don't know, War Machine?
Jeez.
Slick.
Fuck.
Spent some money on this episode, goddamn. Everything's okay. Fury and Talos here with like 2 Glocks.
Yeah.
See, there's the armory I thought he would have at his house.
Yeah.
Oh, we're about to see the Super Skrull in action. Let's go!
Cover the stagecoach!
Why aren't the Skrulls turning immediately like they did at the house? This show's very inconsistent about... Oh, shit! Oh, he does have Groot's powers. Oh, fuck! Skrull strength. Let's go.
I just thought he was gonna rip the door off, but I guess, sure, break the window.
I mean, that door is like missile grade, right?
But the hinges?
Fuck! Oh no! This scene is really well constructed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like just being injured makes them drop their form. Because Talos is having like a hard time holding it, right?
He's a bloody alien! He's trying to get to Richard!
No! Hold your fire! He's with me! He's with us!
Fury saved the world a few times. He's earned some goodwill.
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, like, there would be green alien bodies all over the ground?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Said,
fuck
him down! Now!
Is that Gravik? Fuck! Oh, shit.
No!
All right. Okay. This show's kind of a mess.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, I don't really understand, like... Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's not even, like, doing anything right now that I feel like is very narratively interesting.
No.
It's sort of just events.
Yeah.
Around a plot that I don't really know what the stakes of it are.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like, the stakes are that, like, that humanity will get wiped out, right? If Gravik can incite a war between everybody and then use that to set off, like, nukes that,
the radiation
whatever the
doesn't kill
radiation
the,
is, it doesn't kill the Skrulls, so then they have the planet once the fires are put out.
I understand.
But, like, it's just kind of, like, things that are... Yeah, it's like you said, it's just things that are kind of happening that don't really... Narratively, they don't feel very interesting in relation to one another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, the turns are happening so fast and not really based on anything. So it's just kind of like Gaia kind of bouncing around between being with Gravik and not being with Gravik and now being upset with her dad for not having a better plan.
Absolutely no sense to me.
His wife being like, you left, so I'm with Gravik, but also like one conversation and I'm not is kind of like, all right, fine.
It's kind of like the writers were like, what if everybody has like complicated mood swings? And I'm like, I don't, it's not working for me.
And like, Gravik is the Super Skrull now. And he, like, used his tree power once, and he healed once. But I'm like, why
didn't he use it more in this fight?
Yeah.
He could have single-handedly taken out all of them. He seems to be basically invincible.
Yeah.
Like, there's absolutely no reason that the president should have gotten away with Nick Fury.
He's functionally invincible.
Yeah.
And they've not shown that he can take any damage, so why is he being so cautious?
No idea.
I don't really get it. And this play was so out in the open that there's no getting away with it. Like, everybody knows that Skrulls attack the president now because all of those dead bodies are going to be Skrulls.
And that's the weird
Like,
part
I just
is
don't
they
get
were
what
like,
is-
oh, it's the Russians because they were speaking in Russian, which, like, okay. But then, yeah, as soon as you killed one of those things, they would have turned green.
Yeah.
Like, the ground should be littered with half of the bodies being green aliens, and, like, that should be, like, a clue. And then, you know, Nick Fury going to Rhodey and being like, there's Skrulls, you know? Like, there's literal evidence that people are there for. That is seemingly very convenient as to when they, like, change versus, like, not change. And I don't like that.
Yeah, because when they fight in the house in the last episode, they're changing immediately after they get shot.
Yeah.
And
there's also
now they're not, and you're like, well, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just,
and like then
Talos, yeah.
Talos was like kind of half changing because he got shot. You know, he took like a big bad wound, but they like beat the shit out of that guy in his studio, and he didn't change until the end.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the show is being like very inconsistent with the powers, and I don't know that it's benefiting the show very much.
Yeah, I think that like it would be far more interesting if there were like strict rules around that, so that they could be used accordingly, and like and so that we could take in that information and try and figure out who's Skrull and who's not based on little clues like that. Because you need to have the rules being hard and fast for the audience to try and insinuate from scenes and moments.
Especially for the mystery element of the show, like who's good and who's bad. I feel like it's so obvious all the time. Like the show isn't doing what the comic did of trying to be like, you'll never guess who the Skrulls are.
Yeah.
Right? Like when certain characters were revealed to be Skrulls in later issues of that comic, it was this crazy reveal. And this show feels like it was supposed to be longer, and because they truncated it, everything has to be a little bit too obvious all the time.
It doesn't feel like a mystery or even like espionage show. It feels like an action show. Like it's action scene after action scene.
But it's an action
which is
show where
fine.
The
But
bad guys. It actually reminds me of my issue with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, where in very early on in Wakanda Forever, when they first meet the Talakanil, they set up that the Talakanil are like functionally immortal because Okoye stabs 3 of them with her vibranium spear. And then they get up and they're fine and they go back into the ocean. And I was like, oh, the fact that the Talakanil are basically immortal is going to be relevant to this movie. And then it kind of never is. It never comes back. It's just this weird thing that happens on the bridge. And I was like, the movie was so strange in that it set up the Talakanil to be powerful in a way that the rest of the movie never pays off. And this show is doing kind of a similar thing where like we functionally as the audience understand how the Skrulls work because we've seen Captain Marvel. Right? And so to come into the show and have the functionality of the Skrulls be so inconsistent in a show where them hiding their identity is so tantamount, but you're telling me that they regularly shoot people and leave them in the woods, that there are a million Skrulls who die randomly around the world and like nobody's caught on to this. It's just this very weird, shaky foundation the show is on. And then right now, the narrative on top of it, I don't know what they're building to. Like there's 2 episodes left. I don't really know what Nick Fury's trying to stop, or is it just like a fight with Gravik?
Is the finale trying to find them a home and taking that angle of it, or is the finale just going to be like stop the bad guy? Because that's far less interesting than actually helping these people. And and it doesn't feel like we have any possible pathway to even a potential solution for that. And that was kind of what I thought was going to be interesting about the show.
Well, and right now, because they went Super Skrull, and now Talos is dead, it's going to be Nick Fury and Gaia. And Gaia is also a Super Skrull.
Yeah.
And so now the finale is going to be Super Skrull versus Super Skrull, which I don't know that that's very interesting.
Superman versus
because
Zod.
Neither... I love Emilia Clarke. I really like the actor playing Gravik. neither of those characters have a lot of personality to me.
No. The characters themselves, absolutely not. The actors are great, and I am enjoying acting performances within scenes within the show. But as to who these people are as people, no fucking clue. And only in Nick Fury, because we already know him and kind of tell us. Like, I feel like I know him pretty well. But everyone else who's, like, new, who's being introduced, I guess maybe Nick Fury's wife. I feel like after this episode, that I know her a little bit better, maybe. But even still, the flip-flopping back and forth is so inconsistent, and it's the same thing with Gaia.
But, like, what is Nick Fury's wife's place in the rest of the show?
I don't know. She's gonna go hide?
Narratively, what was the purpose of that interaction?
She's gonna go hide.
I guess for Nick to find out that Rhodey is a Skrull, but I feel like there's another way we could have done that without devoting so much of the show to this relationship that doesn't mean anything to the audience.
Yeah.
Because we've known this character for so long, and to be like, he was married the whole time. Oh, that's crazy. Is she relevant? They have a conversation.
Really. And that's like, yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed episode 3 the most, I think, so far. But I think that I'm still, like, a little bit hung up on the fact that we're past the halfway point of the show, and the foundation of why this conflict is here was never really settled on.
Yeah.
And the twists and turns are just, they're not working for me.
It's because we started on shaky ground, and those twists and turns don't feel, like, secure, like the writers know what they're doing. It's the whole thing is kind of shaking. It's like being on, like, a wooden roller coaster.
Yeah.
You're like, this might fall apart at any moment.
Yeah, because, like, even, like, Rhodey's position in this episode was interesting of, like, I have this video of you killing Maria Hill. And now if Nick Fury's like, yeah, it's the shape-shifting aliens, Rhodey can't be like, what shape-shifting aliens? The president will literally be like, the ones Nick Fury saved me from while you sat in the car doing nothing, War Machine. Like,
yeah.
Like, the Skrull's plans are just, they're really bad. And I don't understand what killing the president here does.
Chaos.
Like, the only way this
the president gets murdered on Russian soil is nukes.
Only works. No, but that only works if 0 Skrulls die in the attack.
Yes.
Right? Like,
I agree.
Their plan has to be 100% perfect.
Yeah.
And it's not like their plan was going 100% perfect and then Nick Fury showed up.
Yeah.
The first helicopter was still shot down. That's 2 Skrull bodies on the ground. Like,
like,
Gravik's plan requires everybody on his team surviving, which is just, that's not how fighting works.
Gravik should have, like, paid a bunch of thugs and not taken, like, people that we recognized. And
maybe
that were, like, humans.
Maybe the only other Skrull with him was the white guy.
Still, too much of a liability. Terrible idea.
Risk,
yeah.
Unless that guy's also been super Skrulled. And he's also, because they can clearly do it multiple times, right?
Yeah, Gravik doesn't seem like the kind of person to, like, turn his subordinates into weapons.
No, he said he was going to, though. In the meeting with the joint chiefs of his... He was like, we're all going to be biological weapons.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that they would have done that yet.
I could see him doing it to that guy, though, because that guy is the one going into the fights with him.
Maybe.
Like, if you're going to at least give him the healing power, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, you're also going to have to offer people a lot of money to try to kill the president. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's the show's just doing some weird stuff. And I just don't know that it works on any level for me. Like, other than, I still enjoyed the cinematography.
Yeah, that
I thought
last
for a TV
scene,
budget, the fight looked good.
I agree with that.
The Groot superpower looked a little wonky CGI-wise, but whatever. Like, that's not the end of the world to me. It was cool that he has Groot powers, and also I don't know where the healing powers come from. I don't recognize that look.
Yeah, who is a healer?
But the show is like, the show is visually working for me. It's just narratively I can't. I'm never fully on board.
Yeah.
And I want to be like, I like the performances enough that I want to be fully on board. But this show has a lot of players. It has a lot of players who are kind of all just sort of just like, the Skrulls want to do bad things, and we're gonna stop them.
Yeah.
And like, I guess Gravik's got a big bad plan, but it's not. I'm not very interested in it.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a show that's being carried so hard by its performances, and I want more than that from it.
Yeah.
But this episode was kind of like, as exciting as that final scene was, and I enjoyed it, but like, narratively, I'm not very satisfied by any of this. And there's no twist that I'm waiting on now. You know what I mean? Like, what other Skrull could possibly be introduced at this point? Rhodey's a Skrull. Almost all of the speaking parts on the show, except for the President and Sam and Nick Fury, are Skrulls at this point.
Yeah.
So, like, there's not even, like, another character that can show up and come up and be a Skrull unless it's another introduced.
And I think that might just be, like, an inherent problem with this being a TV show, is they don't have the budget for people that we recognize to be there for a long time, like, and setting up connections within, like, this show here. Because, yeah, if we had some of the Avengers come in, some, like, previous,
and they might,
like,
there's still 2 episodes left. Like,
yeah, but there's only 2 episodes left, and I think it's too late. Because the fun of what I thought Secret Invasion would be was, like, the who can you trust, who is a Skrull, like, who's acting suspicious. Like, I'm not getting any of that, and maybe it's not fair that I went in with those expectations, but it is kind of what the trailers made it seem like. And and I don't think that the show has kind of delivered what it sold. And I worry that it, like, might just be like a budget thing. They weren't able to bring in other prominent Marvel characters. This is kind of what they could make happen, and it's like, fine.
I think for a spy show that's about betrayal, to have it start with Nick already knowing there's a massive problem with the Skrulls and not trying to, like, I think the show would have been more interesting if it started with Nick coming down to Earth to work with Talos and Gravik to solve a problem.
Yeah.
Right? And then in episode 2 or 3, we find out that Gravik is the problem.
Yeah.
But the problem is episode 1 says Gravik's the bad guy.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, well then maybe one of the 2 people with Nick Fury, because he only has 2 partners in it.
Yeah.
Maria Hill and Talos, maybe one of them is the bad guy. At the end of episode 4, they're both dead. Like, there's nobody in Fury's corner that he trusts that hasn't, at this point, already been revealed to be a Skrull or is dead.
Trying to kill him, yeah.
Like, Nick's kind of just alone in the show now.
Yeah.
And I guess with Gaia, who is
he barely knows
maybe melting.
Gaia.
Like, it's a weird kind of... he's gonna stop Gravik's next plot, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not really working for me. I'm not, like, super stoked for next week. I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'll watch it to see what happens, but honestly, if we weren't, like, reacting to it, like, if it wasn't part of my job to keep up with this one might fall by the wayside for a bit before I'm like, oh yeah, I have to finish that, and then it's just not that exciting to me.
Yeah, it's a shame. I came out of episode 3 being a little bit hotter on it.
Yeah.
And this kind of, like, tempered me back down to being like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know who this is for. I don't know, like, what. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It happens. Not everything's gonna be a banger, but it is a little disappointing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think the actress playing Fury's wife is great.
Yeah.
I would cut all of that out of the show.
I know.
Focus in on, if you're going to do flashback to what was going on with Gravik and Talos 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
what are they trying to, how are they trying to find themselves a planet?
Yeah.
What has anyone even attempted at this point?
Yeah. And I think that, like, I don't know. It's weird.
Unless the twist of this whole fucking show is that Nick Fury is a liar and no one has been trying to find them a planet, which would suck. Like, that would just not be fun.
But then that makes Captain Marvel
Yeah,
like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, this show can't just shit on Captain Marvel and then have her movie come out in 3 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's where this gets, like, she should be on the show somewhere. But, I don't know. This is weird.
Yeah.
And, like, look, I haven't loved the Marvel cinematic shows. I don't think they've been as strong as the movies.
No, I loved WandaVision, and I have liked moments in others, but I don't think overall they've been super strong.
I think this might be the weakest of them for me right now.
At this moment, yeah. There was a moment in Hawkeye where I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, but Hawkeye, the tone of Hawkeye was at least fun.
Yeah.
Even when I was like, I don't know that I really care about this, and, like, the LARPing.
We were having a good time.
The fireman who stole from a house that he was.
Yeah. We were having a good time, and so it's a little more palatable.
The tone was lighter, and it was a Christmas thing.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of a little bit. It was easier for me to be on board with that.
And then we saw Rogers the Musical,
which is ostensibly supposed to be smarter. but doesn't feel smarter.
Yeah. It feels like, unfortunately, the worst of the Marvel writing.
Yeah.
When it should... I thought this show was going to kind of be something different and push those boundaries a little bit for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I think I was wrong.
Yeah, like the scene in this last episode when he's like, I'm retiring. And she's like, oh, what are you going to do? And he's like, I think I'm going to try revenge. Great line.
Yeah.
This episode, are you coming or going? Work called. They desperately need me. What do you mean? What does that mean? What does that mean in the context of your relationship with each other?
Shoot each other now.
Yeah, like it's just stuff like that where I'm like, is Nick Fury saying that to let her know what conversation they're about to have? Like, why are we playing this game in this relationship that is so far removed from the plot of the show?
Yeah.
Right now, only for it to be like, no, she's not actually gonna try and kill him. So this whole side quest with her didn't matter, and like maybe she comes back in future Marvel properties as Nick Fury's wife. Maybe she doesn't. It's a lot of screen time that was given to something that kind of had a cute and really well acted. Like the scene between them, because that's the weird thing is that the scene between them is great.
Yes.
It's just in the context of the larger show that I'm like, I don't know why we're doing this.
There's a lot of good acting band-aids.
Yes.
Like, so that you kind of glaze over what's actually going on, which is just too bad.
Good acting band-aids is truly what the show is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
But we'll be back next week with the next episode because I don't hate it. I'm not at the point I was with Willow where I was like actively not enjoying watching that show.
Yeah.
And so we stopped reacting to it because I don't want to just put out hate. I liked episode 3.
Yeah.
I liked episode 2. I was iffy on episode 1, and now I'm iffy on episode 4. And so I'm a 50-50 right now on this.
Yeah.
I would give it like a 5.5 out of 10 at the moment. Yeah. And I'm hoping that the final 2 episodes bring it together and maybe contextualize the previous stuff to make that more fun and not kind of it's a little bit kind of like Crossroads of Twilight right now. I feel like I'm in the slog.
In the slog of MCU.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate. But if you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. In this episode, that algorithm goddess is Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
That's what I kept going. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at nerdynightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
As always, y'all, do something nerdy tonight.
Bye. Guys.